I think this illustrates that the vaccine effectiveness is not immediate.
Health experts weighing in after a local nurse tested positive for COVID-19 8 days after receiving the Pfizer vaccine. As ABC 10 News reporter Michael Chen tells us, a doctor involved with the local vaccine rollout says this case does not reveal anything about the vaccine's effectiveness.
This was a Facebook post from Matthew, an ER nurse at 2 different local hospitals after receiving the Pfizer vaccine December 18th. He tells me his arm was sore for a day, but he suffered no other side effects. 6 days later, on Christmas Eve, after working a shift in the COVID unit, he became sick, he writes in another Facebook post. He got the chills and later came down with muscle aches and fatigue. The day after Christmas, he went to a drive-up hospital testing site and tested positive for COVID-19.
Not unexpected at all, and when you work through the numbers, this is exactly what we would expect to happen if someone is exposed.
Dr. Christian Ramers is an infectious disease specialist on the clinical advisory panel for the county's vaccine rollout. He points out it's possible Matthew may have been infected before receiving the vaccine, as the incubation period may be as much as 2 weeks. But Dr. Ramers says if Matthew did contract it after the vaccine, it's still in line with what we know.
We also know from the vaccine clinical trials that it takes about 10 to 14 days for you to start to develop protection from the vaccine.
Dr. Ramers says he knows of several other local cases where healthcare workers became infected around the time they received the vaccine. He says all of these cases illustrate that results are not immediate. And even after you start receiving some protection, it is not full protection.
That first dose gives you, we think, somewhere around 50% protection, and then you need that second dose to get up to 95%.
Dr. Ramers says Matthew's story also shows that even with vaccines, the pandemic isn't going to turn around instantly.
Optimistic about, the vaccine being the beginning of the end, but it's going to be a slow roll for weeks to months as we roll out the vaccine.
Michael Chen, ABC 10 News.
Dr. Ramers says this case is a good reminder of why masks, hand washing, and other protocols are important even after receiving the vaccine. Meanwhile, Matthew tells us he's feeling better since his symptoms peaked Christmas Day, but he still feels tired.